Hello, everybody. I just wanted to share a little bit, just some things that really just jumped out at me with my reading this morning in the book of Nehemiah. I was in chapter 8 and was looking at this amazing thing that took place. It starts off with, "And all the people gathered as one man into the square before the water gate. And they told Ezra the scribe to bring the book of the law of Moses that the Lord had commanded Israel. So Ezra the priest brought the law before the assembly, both men and women, and all who could understand what they heard on the first day of the 7th month. And he read from it, facing the square before the water gate, from early morning until midday, in the presence of the men and the women and those who could understand, and the ears of all the people were attentive to the book of the law. And Ezra the scribe stood on a wood platform that they had made for the purpose. And beside him stood Mattithiah, Shema, Ananiah, Uriah, Hilkiah, and Maaseiah on his right hand, and Pedaiah, Mishael, Malchijah, Hashum, Hashbaddanah, Zechariah, and Meshullam on his left hand. And Ezra opened the book in the sight of all the people, for he was above all the people. And as he opened it, all the people stood. And Ezra blessed the Lord, the great God, and all the people answered, Amen, Amen, lifting up their hands. And they bowed their heads and worshiped the Lord with their faces to the ground. Also Jeshua, Bani, Sherebiah, Jamin, Akub, Shabbathai, Hodiah, Maaseiah, Kelita, Azariah, Jozabad, Hanan, Peliah, and the Levites helped the people to understand the law, while the people remained in their places. They read from the book of the law of God clearly, and they gave sense so the people understood the reading. What an interesting text here. So we have Ezra reading the book of the law to the people from morning until midday, and everybody stood for that. They literally stood on their feet for the reading of the book of the law. And then you have this other group of folks who are helping people to understand what Ezra is reading. And what an interesting thing here. But it goes on in verse 9, and Nehemiah, who was the governor, and Ezra the priest and scribe, and the Levites who taught the people, said to all the people, This day is holy to the Lord your God. Do not mourn or weep. For all the people wept as they heard the words of the law. Then he said to them, Go your way, eat the fat and drink sweet wine, and send portions to anyone who has nothing ready, for this day is holy to the Lord. And do not be grieved, for the joy of the Lord is your strength. So the Levites calmed all the people, saying, Be quiet, for this day is holy. Do not be grieved. And all the people went their way to eat and drink and to send portions and to make great rejoicing, because they had understood the words that were declared to them. Isn't it interesting that their very first response was to cry when they heard these words from the book of the law? And I imagine a lot of that is because of guilt, because that's what the book of the law did. It created guilt. It showed you where you were going wrong, where you had broken God's commandment. But then they said, this is a holy day, not one for mourning, but one for rejoicing. And so they turned that mourning into rejoicing. And they were rejoicing also because they could understand, as it says, because they had understood the words that were declared to them. Man, I just wonder can we even get some amount of just, I don't know, revival or some level of excitement and just celebration that we can understand. And of course, we have this beautiful thing known as the New Testament. We have the New Testament right here in front of us that we can understand, that we can read, and for the most part, understand what it says and apply it to our lives, and we can rejoice. Ought it not to create some sort of emotional response in us? I think so. I think so. Well, I just wanted to give you those things to think about today. And yeah, that was in Nehemiah chapter 8. Check it out for yourself if you wish. It's really interesting. God bless you.